Thank you for joining us and learning how to file an application for a rebate of PA property tax or rent paid. To file your application, the first thing you will need to do is type in mypath.pa.gov, which will take you directly to the MyPath portal. Submitting a property tax rent rebate application can be done without creating a username or password. This is considered a non-logged-in feature, which you can access directly from the MyPath homepage. You will want to scroll past the black login box at the top and find the tile labeled Rebates. From the Rebates tile, you will want to click on the hyperlink to apply for a property tax rent rebate. After clicking the hyperlink, you will be taken to a new screen that outlines what is needed before you even get started. MyPath requires you to upload attachments with your application, which is outlined on the screen. Please be aware that a paper copy of a completed rent certificate is required in addition to the electronic version filled out during the application process for renters or owner-renters. If you are unable to electronically upload the attachments, you will have to file a paper application. Additionally, there are certain file types that are accepted for upload as listed on the screen. Please use the previous and next buttons at the bottom of the screen to navigate through the application. Do not use the back and forward buttons on the toolbar at the top of the web page, as this will cause issues in submitting your application. If you wish to exit, simply click Cancel in the bottom left corner of the screen. You will not be able to save your progress and finish the application at a later time. After confirming that you have the items you need, click Next to proceed. You will be taken through a series of questions. This software is very intuitive, so based on how you answer the questions, it will determine what schedules you need and populate them to be completed. Please be sure to read each question carefully. This page will also stop you from moving forward if you do not fall under one of the qualifying categories. Once all questions are answered, simply click Next to proceed. Here you will need to fill out information regarding your income. If you are married, you will need to include the financial information for both you and your spouse combined. In our example, we are going to enter $10,000 in Social Security income. Once completed, click Next. Be sure to enter any other income received by you or your spouse on the appropriate lines. The last line is for your total income, which is automatically calculated for you based on the information you enter. If you remember, we entered $10,000 on the previous screen for the total Social Security income, which in our example was the only income for the year. The MyPath system knows that this income type is divided in half when calculating eligibility, so the total income line reflects a total of $5,000. If you filed as a homeowner, you will need to input the amount of property taxes paid for the prior tax year. The application will then calculate the amount of your rebate based on your total income and the amount of property taxes paid for the year. This amount will be reflected in the field below where you put your property tax amount. If you are a renter, you will be asked to fill out information regarding your rental, landlord, and the amount of rent paid. On line 1, you will need to fill in the address where you are living while paying rent. On line 2, fill in your landlord's name or the name of the business that you rent from, their address, and their phone number. Anytime that you see the navy blue Verify Address button, you will be required to click it to ensure that the address entered complies with the U.S. Postal Service standards. You can see here that you will need to select Verify Address for both your address and your landlord's address before moving on. If the address you typed in is missing any information, you will be given different options to complete the transaction. In the example on the screen, this address includes an apartment number which was not included with the address information typed in by the customer. If the address cannot be verified, you will receive a pop-up message asking that you review the information and try again. After the address is verified, you must select what type of unit you are renting on the right-hand side. Please note that if selecting a type of assisted living situation, you must submit a copy of the contract agreement with your application. This contract is going to be required every year that you reside there. Instructions for attaching proof documents will be covered later in this video. On line 4, you will need to enter in the amount of rent per month. On line 5, list how much of the rent paid was paid or subsidized by a governmental agency. And lastly, fill out line 7, which is the number of months the unit was occupied. Lines 6 and 8 will automatically be calculated based on the information that you provide. To the right are boxes for you to explain the amount of rent paid and number of months occupied if necessary, as these fields are not mandatory. If you lived in more than one location, you need to select the Add button above the first section to fill out a rent certificate for that location. For the Landlord's Oath, you will need to select the appropriate boxes listed on the screen. Please check all that apply. At minimum, one box must be checked before proceeding. The next screen will show you a summary of the rent paid and the automatically calculated amount of your rebate based on the information you've entered. Next, you will need to input your personal information, including your social security number, name, current address, and contact information. If married, you will also need to include your spouse's information. You will again need to verify the address. Once the information is entered and the address is verified, use the drop-down box to put the county and school district information. In addition, you will need to select whether you would like your rebate to be direct deposited or not. We strongly recommend that you take advantage of direct deposit because this option is the fastest and most secure way to receive your rebate. If you select yes, you will be taken to a new screen where you will enter your banking information. Simply choose whether you will be using a checking or a savings account, enter your account number, and then enter in your routing number. If the routing number is properly inputted into the system, the bank name should populate and then you will be asked to confirm your account number. These additional steps are to ensure that everything is keyed in correctly and to confirm that your rebate goes to the appropriate account. If you select no, your rebate check will be mailed to the address that you provided on this screen. Please be aware that if you do have your check mailed, it will take longer for you to receive your rebate. The next step is uploading your attachments. As mentioned in the beginning of this video, uploading supporting documentation is a required part of the electronic application. Based on how you answer the questions, MyPath will tell you what documents need to be attached. You will click Add and select the files from your computer. The system will ask you to select what type of attachment you are about to upload from the list of required documents. You will need to choose the appropriate proof document and then enter a description of that document. Then simply select Choose File and navigate to the file on your desktop. Click OK to move to the next item. Once that is successfully uploaded, you will be able to confirm and move to the next proof document. You can see on the screen that there is an option to remove if you accidentally selected the wrong file or labeled it incorrectly. Again, this is just another way to help ensure that you are doing everything correctly. Repeat those steps for each additional file that you have and then click Next to continue through the application. Before the application can be finalized, you will need to complete the Claimant's Oath. Read the oath on the screen carefully and then click Next to continue. Make sure you review the rebate summary before fully submitting the application. Once you click Submit, you will receive a confirmation that requires you to acknowledge that information you've submitted is true, complete, and accurate to the best of your ability. After clicking OK, you will be taken to a confirmation screen which provides a confirmation code and the date submitted. This code will also be sent to the email address provided, which is reflected on the screen. You will want to keep this confirmation code should you ever need to check the status, delete, or print a copy of your application at a later time. If you are simply looking for the status of your rebate, you will want to use the Where's My Rebate hyperlink on the MyPath homepage. It is important to remember when checking your status that rebates are not issued until after July 1st. Please see the 411 video on checking the status of your rebate for more instructions.